Well, hello to my Sunday school friends here and in Brazil. It is so good to talk to you. We are getting very close to a new part of our story about God preparing the world for Jesus. We've been talking for months about Israel wandering through the wilderness. You know that they're getting close to the land of Canaan, to the land of promise. We talked last time about how the tribes of Reuben and Gad found land that they liked outside of Canaan, and they were allowed to settle there. As long as they helped Israel, the rest of the tribes, conquer the whole land, they were free to settle where they wanted. And so they made those preparations. And now, today, we find out what else has to happen before they can go in. You remember, right, that Moses had made a mistake several years ago, that he'd gotten angry and God had told him to command water to come forth out of a rock, and Moses instead had smacked the rock with his staff, made it look like he produced the water, and God told him, because you took credit for that miracle I did, you can't go into the promised land either. So, you know, we're there. We're at the promised land. And today we're going to talk about the end of Moses' life. Moses knew that the end was coming for him. He was 120 years old. He knew that God wasn't going to let him go into the promised land. And he knew that Israel had to go very soon, which meant that his time was nearly over. And Moses looked about and he wanted to make sure that the people of God had another leader. And so he talked to God about it, and God said, choose someone that the people will trust so that the people will know that they're not like sheep without a shepherd. And Moses went and he found Joshua. Remember, all those years ago, Joshua and Caleb were the two spies who went into Canaan and came out and said, it's a wonderful place and God will give it to us. Joshua, the faithful spy, the good man, the trusting man. And Moses thought that he would be a good leader. God said to Moses, bring Joshua to the priest, Eleazar, and he'll be blessed. You lay your hands on him and give him some of your honor, some of your spirit, so that the people will know he's going to be the next leader and they will obey him and listen to him. And then you tell the people whatever it is you need to tell them. So Joshua did that. Moses did that. He brought Joshua to Eleazar. The people gathered around and watched Joshua get blessed, watched Moses lay hands on him. They understood what was happening, that Moses was preparing to leave them, but they wouldn't be left alone. They wouldn't be abandoned. And then Moses talked to them for a long time, told them that God would be with them, that they would never be abandoned, that they didn't need to be afraid, that they could trust God, that God would always bless and protect them, and that God was calling them to walk with God and to do what God said, and that as long as they did that, things would go well for them. He told them many things about how they should live and how they should conduct themselves. He reminded them that he was 120 years old and that he'd had the opportunity to lead them all of these years, but it was really God that was doing the leading. And the people listened to Moses. Moses wrote down these things. And then Moses walked out of camp. And he walked up a nearby mountain, Mount Nebo it's called. And when he got to the top of the mountain, he was allowed to look out over the land of Canaan. He could see the Jordan River, and he could see the beautiful land of Canaan beyond it. He knew that God would bring the people there, that God was with them and would protect them. And God allowed him to see it all and to imagine it all. And up there on the mountain, Moses died. And God buried his body. Nobody knows where. And Moses was one of the greatest people who ever lived. He wasn't a perfect man, we've covered that, but he trusted God, he loved God, and he tried to obey God. He was able to see God and to talk to God. He listened to God, he obeyed God, one of the greatest people who'd ever lived. And the people knew when Moses didn't come down that chapter in Israel's history was done, that they now were to follow Joshua, that they were going to go into the land of promise, and that the next part of God's plan was about to be revealed to them, unfolded in front of them. So for 30 days, they mourned Moses' death. They celebrated his life, they cried at his passing, they remembered all the things that he taught them, and then they got ready. And I hope you're ready too. It's about to get interesting. You take care. I will see you soon. Please send me pictures or questions, anything you want. I love hearing from you, and I hope that you are doing well. You're in my prayers. Bye-bye.